Welcome to Little Likac podcast, episode 100. Yay, can you believe it? This is the 100th podcast that I have filmed. Welcome. My name is Amanda and I'm coming to you from Derby in the United Kingdom. I am a knitter, crocheter, yarn dyer and teacher. And this is the 100th episode. So today's filming is a special edition, really just because it is 100. But I am going to be doing a competition today and also talking about some of the other competitions that we've been running and giving you an update on what I've been knitting. I've not done a podcast for a few weeks now, about 4 or 5 weeks. And yeah, update on what I've been knitting and making, working on. Life things, and yes, so welcome. So it is Thursday the 30th of October 2025. I had to think about that, and about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 to 2. So I have really found it difficult to find any time to film podcasts over the last 6 weeks or so. I have been super busy at my full-time job, which is an English teacher, and I have been super busy with my part-time job, which is an indie dyer, because I had 2 really quite big shows quite close together, and I've got a 3rd show coming up this weekend as well. So with all the preparations for each of those, also I sell advent calendars, yarn advent calendars, and they all needed to be packed and packaged and packed and labelled up and shipped out as well. So honestly, I feel like I just have not stopped, not just for the last couple of weeks. I've been off teaching for the last 2 weeks on holiday, and I thought, oh, that's great. That gives me loads of time to get on with things and also take a bit of a break. Well, my goodness me, I don't feel like I've had much of a break. But it's been really good, really good. But I am just going to say that I found it very difficult to find time to podcast. So things are not terribly well organised. I have just got a pile of stuff over here, and I know I've got finished objects to show you and things, but I can't even, I haven't even organised it to sort of say, right, let's do finished objects first. I just kind of went, do you know what, I've only got about an hour or so to film this. I haven't got, I've got to wrap my husband's birthday presents. I have still got some stitch markers and needle stoppers to pop into little packets and things for the show that I'll be going to. And I was just like, well, let's just stop and film the podcast while the lighting is still pretty good. It's quite a grey afternoon out there. And other things can happen later. So I've literally just piled everything on here, and I'm kind of just going to pull things off of the sofa in a random way. Hopefully we'll find everything that I want to talk about. But that does mean at some point during the podcast I will be talking about the Socks and You Know It knit along, and we will be drawing a winner for the August socks, and I'll be giving you an update about that knit along. And also at some point I will be showing out prizes for the 100 episode giveaway, and I also have got a sponsor for this episode, because the lovely Liz from Nibbles, Needles and Hooks, which is a yarn shop you've heard me talk about before, is offering some prizes as well. So I will tell you about that in a little bit as well. But it is going to be really random, not going to lie, because I am just going to say, right, let's pull this off the sofa and talk about it. I'm sorry if that actually turns out to be a bit crazy, but and you don't like it. It's not the way I usually do it. I normally do the traditional, here's what I'm wearing, here's what I finished, here's what I'm working on, here's what I've cast on new, here's what I've purchased. Today, you're going to get all of that. You're going to get all of that just as it comes off the sofa in any order. Hey, why not? Okay, so what is first? Let's see. The first thing I'm going to grab is this. Now, this is actually a finished item. So this bag contains a finished item that I have actually worn a few times. So it hasn't got the progress keeper on anymore, but it is my beautiful beaded mitts. And when I'd last podcast, I had finished one of these, and I think I had just started the cuff of the other, if I remember rightly. Now I have worn these a few times. I've worn them to drive in, which is a little bit strange if I'm totally honest, because it has got beads on both sides, on the palm as well as the back of your hands, and so let me just sorry about that. And so when I was driving, it did feel a bit weird having the beads there. They are quite short mitts, so the other time that I've worn them was I went into work, into the classroom at school last week and this week, and it was very cold in there because there was no students in, so the heating was off and it was quite chilly, and I was doing some marking, and actually because they're quite short gloves, I think these will be really good actually for typing, marking, things like that. It is alpaca and silk blend 4-ply, so it's probably not the most sturdy of yarns, so I am a little bit nervous about them felting or wearing through very easily. So I feel like I need to knit myself another pair of mitts in something like sock yarn, something that's going to be a little bit sturdier, because I just feel that these are really pretty, but they may not be the most practical for doing things in. They've got beads all the way up here, and it's just such a pretty pattern, and it didn't take me very long at all to finish the second I was going to say second sock, the second mitten. It didn't take long to finish, but I am just worried that they are more for looking pretty rather than necessarily being practical, but they are beautiful. Sorry, that's our dog just having a little shake. So the pattern, it did come as a kit, so I got the yarn, the beads and the pattern all together from an alpaca farm. Beaded fingerless mitts, designed by Jemima Bicknell, and it was published by the UK Alpaca Society. It used one ball, it was about 30 grams in total, I think, of this alpaca silk. So alpaca baby 4-ply, 80% baby alpaca, 20% silk. So yeah, it's about 15-20 grams of that left. It came with the beads. So you can see I've got a few of those left, not very many. And I knitted them on 2.5mm needles. I'm just checking. I don't have the needles still in here, I don't think. Oh, yes, I do. I do have the needles still in there, so and I also have this, the number 5 stitch marker or progress keeper, because it was number 5 from the 12 cast-ons of Christmas. Somewhere I've got a little bag with all the other progress keepers in. Anyway, so yes, it was number 5 of my 12 cast-ons of Christmas from last year. So I'm just going to take these needles out as well, so I can put this project bag away. So I say that I am terrible at putting things away, taking things out and putting things away, so hopefully I will now put the project bag away, put the pattern into my folder with lots of other paper copies of patterns, and wear the mitts, but not wear them too much, because I really am worried that they are not the hardiest of mitts. So yeah, the first thing I pulled out did happen to be a finished object. All right, let's have a look at something else. Now this is a project that you've not seen on the podcast for probably a couple of years. However, if you have come to any of the yarn shows that I've been at recently, you may have seen me knitting on this project, because this is the project that usually gets knitted on, at the yarn shows. And because we've had a couple of because we've had a couple of yarn shows, I have been working on this project at them. So it's on one of our yarn spinners. So this is one of the very first ones that my husband made, so it's a bit of a prototype. Anyway, so it's on that, so which means that I can hold it on my wrist and knit while I am talking to customers or waiting for customers, or and I am knitting, not that surprisingly, a sock, because a simple vanilla sock is just the easiest thing for me just to work on, and not have to concentrate. And even I will go for a bit of a wander maybe around the show knitting on that sock. Now this is the second sock on this pair. The first sock is in here. And I believe, quite possibly, when I started this sock, probably maybe about 2 years ago, I still had some of this yarn in stock, but I don't anymore. So this is Little Likac luxury yarn, and I think this colourway might have been Whitby Abbey. I am also now worried that I'm missing a needle. I do appear to be missing a needle, but there were only 4 there. So, oh, there it is. Thank goodness for that. So yeah, these are 2.25mm needles. Knit Pro Ginger, I think these are actually. Not the Symphony, but the Ginger. So yeah, I will take this with me to Whitstable, which is where I'm going for this weekend. I think I must be near to doing the heel flap. Yeah, look at that. We're just about ready to do the heel flap. A few more rounds. So I will probably, on the Friday evening, try and get the heel flap done so that I can just work on the gusset and the gusset and then the foot, and not have to be looking too much at what I'm doing during the day. And obviously it depends how busy it is. Quite often at some yarn shows the last hour can be very quiet, so that's usually when I perhaps get most knitting done. But I do like to be showing the yarn spinner while I'm knitting, and you know, we do get people come up and ask about the yarn spinners and things like that. So yeah, so that's a project bag I've had for a little while. It's a Christmassy project bag actually. I've just seen the project bag is looking a bit grubby, so I may change that. I think almost looks potentially like it's had a bit of coffee spilt on it, which is entirely possible, but it hasn't come through. This is lined, so I may change the project bag and give this one a wash and put that into a fresh project bag. But yes, if you are coming to the Whitstable Festival this weekend, 1st and 2nd of November, which is being held at Whitstable Castle in Kent, there's a good chance you'll see me working on that project. Right, let's see what's next. Okay, what's next is what's in this bag. What is in this bag? I think this is the Socks In You Know It socks for October. Yes, it is. Right, this is the Socks In You Know It socks for October. And these are nearly finished. So nearly finished. Let me put these on sock blocker. Now, talking of sock blockers, Mr. Likac has been very busy creating new sock blockers in new sizes. So, haven't photographed them and put them onto Etsy yet, but I think I will try to do that this weekend, to take some photos of them, of the different sizes, and yeah, we'll get those onto Etsy, because people had asked me previously, could we do sock blockers in different sizes, and when I spoke to my husband about it, he was kind of like, oh, I don't know. And then when we were at Yarndale, Yarndale was the first time my husband had actually stayed with me at a show. He has come and helped me set up before at shows, and come and help me pack away, but he's never stayed for the show before. And Yarndale he stayed, and he quite enjoyed it. And then he came and did Stafford wool gathering with me, and he admitted he really did enjoy it. But he got talking to people about the products that he's been making, the wooden products, and some people did ask him about different size sock blockers. So between Yarndale and Stafford, he created some new sizes, and Stafford was the first time we took those to the show, and we did sell some in the different sizes. So again, at Whitstable I will have some, and then I will get those onto Etsy as well. It's partly as well he just needed to do a little bit of working out on pricing and things like that, because obviously the different size sock blockers take different sizes of pieces of wood, and anyway, these are my October socks, and I finished this one. And the second one, I am literally on the toes. So I think I had planned to try and finish this today before I filmed the podcast, but I have been super busy today and it hasn't happened. And I've really only got, I don't know, probably like, only just started the toe. Just trying to see if I can hold this one up. So yeah, that's how much I've got left to do. Just the toe. So this yarn is called Berry Dreams, I believe. Let's see, it is Drops Fabel print, and the colour here just says 330, but I'm pretty sure it is Berry Dreams. So it's Drops Fabel print in the colour 330. And I have to try and match my socks. I really don't like mismatching socks. So I keep talking about doing scrappy socks, but I think that's what puts me off. Although I might be okay with it if they're scrappy, because I'll just kind of go, but they're supposed to be like that. So anyway, this yarn comes in two 50-gram balls, and so I did wind it off the second ball to get to the same point. It's a very long repeat, and I thought I'd got it in the right place, because look, all the way down the leg is exactly the same. Look at that, all matches, matchy, 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 but then not at the heel. So this was the first one that I knitted, and when I started the heel, it started with this first patch of this lilac before it went into the dark pink. But on this one, there was no patch of that lighter purple. And we just went straight into this big deep pink. But bizarrely, so the two heels do not match. However, once we got past the heel and onto the foot, they do match again. So I'm okay. The only place where it doesn't match is the heel, and I'm never going to see that. So look, it matches again, but it's really strange. The heels don't match. Just that bit there, and then, well, yeah, there. So the heels don't match, but by the time we get to the foot, it all matches again. So what are the chances of that? I do not know, but I'm very happy that it does, because I am a little bit, it's got to match. Don't like it if it doesn't match. I know some people with self-striping yarns don't care, but I do. So yeah, on the first ball, I started trying to wind off, and then I was like, well, hang on a minute. I'm going to need to break into the second ball, which also then means it's going to take me ages to try and wind off and find the right place. So let's just start the second sock with the second ball, which is what I did. So these socks are for the Socks In You Know It Make Along, which is a knit along that I've been doing for nearly 2 years. And I said that I would do a bit of an update about that. So in my last podcast, let me just put this to one side. Okay, in my last podcast, I said I was struggling to keep up with everything, and that has not improved in the last 6 weeks. And if anything, it has got harder. And this is a little bit of a serious note for a minute. I've also got to be a little bit careful of what I say on the podcast, because a lot of students, well, not a lot, but some students at my school have found the podcast. Not a problem, that happens every year, and it's usually not an issue. However, I just feel at the moment I need to be a little bit cautious about what I say on the podcast, because it feels like potentially there are some students watching it, not necessarily for the best reasons. I could be being a bit paranoid there. But so anyway, I don't want to say too much about my personal life at the moment because of things like that. But I've definitely been finding it very difficult to keep on top of everything. And so I've decided Socks In You Know It Make Along as a make along and a giveaway is finishing now. I said that I would try and do it to the end of the year, but I'm not. I'm not going to open any more monthly threads on Ravelry. Please don't email me or message me with finished socks. You are more than welcome to still put finished socks on the Ravelry thread for just the general one and chat to each other on there. Not a problem, that's fine. The September thread is still open, will close at the end of tomorrow. and I am going to do a draw. We'll do that in a minute actually for the August thread, and then I will do a draw next time I podcast for the September thread, but that will be it. There will be no October, November, December thread. I just had to look at kind of how could I reduce the pressures that are on me at the moment. And you know, some of you commented on the last video and said, you know, you don't know how I do so much and how I do everything. And the thing is, I love what I do, and I don't want to back off the Little Likac stuff. In fact, Little Likac, my actual yarn business, is doing really, really well at the moment. I don't want to back that off, but I did think, well, what could I back off? Obviously, filming the podcast has been difficult to find time, and even just something as small as the giveaway, sometimes the admin on that, and it's only really just checking a few emails, etc., but it just becomes another thing to do, and it also then becomes another thing to do before I can film the podcast, and so then I put off doing the podcast because I haven't sorted that. So that's something that's dropping. Somewhere in this pile, I'm hoping I've got my finished socks for September to show you as well. I am hoping they are somewhere on here, and that we'll find them shortly. So anyway, let's do the first giveaway. Let us do a giveaway for the August thread for the Socksy and You Know It, and the prize for that, something out of my stash, a sock yarn out of my stash, this very bright pink, by Knit Global. The shade is Honeysuckle, and it is a bright sort of, I always like to describe it as fuchsia pink, and it is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, in this very bright pink. So the winning, so I'm going to draw at random. We will ask my smart speaker to draw one, and we will pull somebody out of the August thread. If they are a UK winner, they will get that posted to them. If you're outside the UK, then it will be a pattern prize. So the August thread, I'm just looking at some lovely socks with different colours. The August thread, we had 31 entries, and you can see as well the number of entries have dropped, and that's probably where I've not really been interacting and looking after this make along, so I am very sorry about that, guys. Alright, so let's ask my smart speaker to pick a winner. Choose a number between 1 and 31.
Here's a number between 1 and 31. It's 24.
Okay, number 24 is Weird Sister 33, and those are the socks that they have posted. So let's just see if I can see where Weird Sister is. Brilliant, Weird Sister 33, that is Jane, and she's in the UK. So thank you, Jane, for entering. Please get in touch with me. If you do that on Ravelry or my email, which is littlelikac@gmail.com, and send me your address, I will get that posted to you. Okay, so that's the news for the knit along. Don't forget, I have said as well that we will be doing a giveaway for this 100th podcast, and I will be talking to you about the prizes for that in a little bit. Well, when I pull something else off the sofa that relates to it. Okay, so let's go for this. Oh, what have we got here? Ah, a bag that says Nibbles, Needles and Hooks on it. So this will be, oh yes, okay. This is an acquisition, and then that will lead me to a whip. All right, okay, so I saw on Instagram a post from a shop down in Sudbury, the Sudbury Yarn Over organisers. I think it's called the Wool Seller. And she had got in stock this beautiful new yarn from King Cole called King Cole Firefly. And she posted a picture of it, and I was like, oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. And I thought, where can I buy some of that? You know, I thought, well, I did think about ordering it from Wool Seller, although I don't know actually if she does online. But I do like to support yarn shops, you know, my local yarn shops when I can. So I messaged Liz at Nibbles, Needles and Hooks. Now her shop is in Lower Pilsley in Derbyshire. It is kind of not that far from Chesterfield, probably about 15-20 minutes from Chesterfield. Anyway, so she's in Derbyshire. It's about 30 minutes drive from me, from my home, about 15 minutes drive from where I work. So I sometimes go there on my way home from work. Anyway, you know that story. So I messaged Liz and I said, Liz, are you planning on getting King Cole Firefly? And she said, I was thinking about it. And I said, well, it looks really nice. If you're going to get some, I will buy it from you. And so the next thing I know, she says, yes, I've ordered it. All 8 colours. I was like, oh my goodness. And then she messaged me when it was in stock, and oh my goodness, when it had arrived, she's just so lovely. She messaged me, and it was about 5 o'clock on the Friday, and as I say, she's about 15 minutes from where I work. I said, what time do you close today? She said 5:30. I said, okay, I'll be there in 15 minutes. I was there at 5:20. And I couldn't choose between 2 of the colourways, so I bought 2 colourways. So let me show you this one first. This is one that I haven't started knitting with yet. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? I mean, to be fair, the ball band did it for me in the first place. Look at the ball band. But then look at the sheen on it, and it is so soft. So soft. I have to say, when I was driving to Liz's, I thought, what if it's really itchy feeling and scratchy and horrible and I don't like it? I'll feel so bad. But actually it was quite the opposite. I was like, oh my goodness, I want all the colours. So this colourway is Firebug. It is Aran weight, and it is 35% acrylic and 65% polyester. It is an Aran weight, but you get 200 metres for 100 grams, which is not bad at all actually. And oh, look at the colours. It's just so unusual. So unusual. So, I was just looking to see, because I've got different patterns for this. Oh, hang on, bear with me. I will put up a picture here of the pattern that I bought to go with this yarn in this colourway, because Liz didn't just buy the yarn, she bought the patterns as well. It's all sold out now as well, so Liz has sold out of all the yarn that she'd bought of it, and King Cole, it seems to be out of stock with them now as well. So it was a very popular yarn for this Christmas. Anyway, so that was the second colourway I've bought. That's probably not going to get knitted up till this time next year. However, the other colourway I bought, I started knitting up straight away, and it's this one. And if I'm honest, this was the first one that I'd seen that I thought I was probably going to get. And this one is called Violet Dropwing. So again, it's kind of got the same pinky red in it as the other one, but it's also then got this bluey purple as well. And a little bit of blue. There's a little bit of blue. So hard to show the colours. So I have started knitting this. So this was the other pattern that I bought. And this pattern actually, this sample here is in this colourway. Now, being King Cole, most of their patterns these days you actually get 2 designs. So there is also a button-up cardigan in the same raglan design. Not so keen on that, but I don't know whether that's just because of the colours. I don't know on there. But anyway, it has this lovely detail, and it's an Aran pattern and really quite a straightforward pattern. And I thought, well, this would be a great pattern to potentially do in other yarns anyway. And it is knitting up really quickly. So it's now 3 weeks since I bought that yarn. Not even 3 weeks actually, just less than 3 weeks. And bearing in mind I've said how busy I have been. So we have got the 2 sleeves done, and this is how it knits up. Isn't it beautiful? There we go. I just think this would be a lovely, lovely, a lovely fabric for sort of wintry, Christmassy knits. And I'm planning on wearing this jumper to my Christmas meal with my knit group. The only thing I will say is that King Cole sizes are not very size inclusive. I'm doing the largest size for me, and I'm not that large. I'm a UK 16 to 18, so I'm not a skinny mini by any means, but I'm not massive. So anyway, I think this would be lovely for a winter evening out, pub meal, things like that, because it's short sleeved, but it's dark and glitzy and just lovely. And then you have this lovely, very simple little bit of detail along the edge of the ribbing. It's blowing out when I do that, isn't it? And then the same on the raglan, has these yarn overs. So I have both sleeves done, and I'm a good way through. I've just started the raglan shaping now for the back. So I will move my progress keeper up to here. But I would hope the next time you see this, hopefully I will podcast in about 2 weeks' time. But I'm hoping I'll have this finished. In fact, we are going to the theatre in London on the 8th of November. I wonder if I could have it finished by then. I might aim to do that, aim to have it finished by the 8th of November. It's only just a week away, but it's possible. I'm not gonna put myself under pressure to do it though, but I'm just saying it would be nice if I have that finished by then. What else can I tell you? I'm knitting it on the recommended needles, which are 4.5 and 5 mil, I believe. Yeah, 4.5 mil for the ribbing, 5 mil for the stocking stitch. The pattern is really straightforward. Yes, it's knitted in pieces. That doesn't bother me. The sewing up of this is not going to be tricky. Yeah. It's knitting up fast. It's super soft. It also feels quite light. It's kind of this sort of chain rather than plied yarn. It feels like it will be quite light to wear. I hope so anyway. I hope it's not going to be too hot. And it was really reasonably priced. Really reasonably priced. But King Cole yarns often are, aren't they? Just going to put some needle stoppers on the end to stop my needles going through the fabric. So that's another project and acquisition. So while sorry, I'm just being distracted because I'm having some messages coming through about knit group tonight actually. Alright, so while I am on the subject of nibbles, needles and hooks, why don't we talk about, and acquisitions, why don't we talk about the giveaway for the 100th episode? Okay, so the lovely Liz said to me that she would like to donate some pattern prizes that you would be able to get through Liz. She will, if you are one of the winners, you'll be able to choose a prize of a pattern from Ravelry, and I will give your details, your Ravelry name or your email address to Liz. I'll pass that on to her, and she will then send you that pattern, purchase it for you and send it to you, so it will be sent to your Ravelry library. So thank you so much, Liz, for offering to support the podcast in that way. You know, Liz is a brilliant member of the knitting community in respect that she's worked so hard running her shop and little coffee shop, and also supporting so many other members of the community. So thank you, Liz, for that. So I am going to pick 5 winners, and to enter you simply need to leave a comment on this video with the number 100 in the comment somewhere. Okay, so if you want to leave a comment and don't want to be entered for the giveaway, then don't put the number 100, but if you put the number 100 and put it actually as numbers 100, then I will pick winners from anybody who has left that comment. Now, I'm also again going to say I am really sorry. Well, the pattern prizes, we can do that internationally, not a problem, but where things might get a bit tricky is international winners, because I've got some physical prizes. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to aim for well, we'll work it out next time. So it may be that there are more than 5 winners, but anyway, if you are international, it will be a pattern only. If you are UK, it will be a pattern, up to 5 patterns. Oh, I'm really not explaining this, haven't I? Okay, there will be 5 pattern prizes, okay, and there are 5 yarn prizes. All right, and I want to, well, if you are a UK entry, you can have a yarn prize. If it's international, it will be the pattern only. Yeah, we'll work that out as we come to it. So there may be some people who win both. Right, I kind of know in my head how it's going to work. So I'm just reaching forward to pull out the prizes, the yarn prizes for the 100 episode giveaway. Okay, so I have here two of these 50 grams. No, they're not 50 grams. They are. So I have 2 of these to give away. They are 100 grams of DK superwash sock, 80% merino, 20% nylon, and they are by the Yarn Artist, and this is Monet Chrysanthemums colourway. I have 2 skeins of this to give away, so 2 prizes for 2 different people. We also have a 4-ply sparkle sock yarn. This is one of mine. This was from the, I want to say this was from the 2022 Mystery Club, which was about fairy tales. So that's been in my stash for quite a while. And it is greens, browns and speckles of blues. So that's 3 that we have here. 2 that are DK sock yarns, 1 sparkly 4-ply yarn. Okay, they're all hand dyed. And then we have 2 more prizes that are commercial sock yarns. So we have a pack of 2 100 grams. No, sorry, 2 75 grams balls. So this would definitely be enough for a pair of you know, large adult socks, potentially 2 pairs of smaller socks. And this is by Crolando, and I came across this through a friend who was going down to a warehouse actually, and on the lookout for things. And so I asked her to pick me up some sock yarn in different colours. There's a couple that I'm keeping for myself, and then I said, oh yeah, if you get me a few I can use them as prizes. So this is another one of the prizes. Okay, it knits up like this. It is a sock yarn, 75% wool, 25% sorry, 25% nylon. Sorry, I'm just noticing on here it's 275 grams, but it's 200 meters. So I'm now thinking perhaps this isn't 4-ply, that perhaps this is more like worsted weight. Perhaps this is more like worsted weight. Anyway, does look perhaps a bit thicker. Maybe it is DK. But anyway, 275 grams, 400 meters of sock wool. Yes, then we have this one, which is 100 grams. But this one doesn't have any wool in it, if I remember rightly. This one is 70% polyacrylic and 23% bamboo viscose. It's 430 meters for the 200 grams. No, it's 430 meters per 100 grams. So you've actually got 860 meters on this one. So yeah, it's an acrylic and bamboo mix. So if you knew somebody who's allergic to wool or had issues with wool, then this would be a great alternative. And so yeah, what else can I tell you about it? Nothing else to tell you really. Alright, so those are our prizes. So we've got this one, which I think is more like a DK. We've got this one, which is the non-wool. We have this one, which is the sparkle yarn from myself. And then we have the 200 gram DK from the yarn artist. If you would like to participate and enter this prize draw, then please just leave a comment with the number 100 in it, and we will pull prizes. And yeah, as I say, depending on if you're UK or international, if it's an international winner, it will be the pattern only. If you are a UK winner, it will be yarn, and then it will be well, it will be yarn and the pattern, unless we've already given someone. There's only 5 pattern prizes. It makes sense to me. I hope it will make sense to you. So that would also be really useful, actually. When you leave your comment, can you also say if you are a UK viewer or international, please? Because that will make life so much easier. Yeah, please include that, UK or international. Thank you. If you want to give more details, you want to say which country you're viewing from, that's amazing. But I just need to know when I draw the prizes, I will need to know if you're UK or international. Okay, so let's put those back away. That I did actually get a couple of those packs of sock yarn for myself as well. So I got one for me and one for my husband. So this one, 2 packs or 2 balls of this yarn, which is 100 grams. And this one, it looks to me like it should have been a pack of that and a plain, but it's actually got 2 packs of the striped. 75% wool, 25%. Yeah, it says on the packet that it's one kind of like plain colour and one striped, but it isn't. They're both striped. I'm just trying to see the meterage on this. So it says 425 meters, but I don't know if that's 425 meters. Yeah, 425 meters per 100 grams, 4-ply. I got this pack for me. Now you can see with this pack we have got a plain one and a patterned one. And this is again 100 grams, 425 meters on each one. So those are for myself. And then I have another pack which I'm not going to show you because that will be the prize for the September socks. So I will leave that to one side. So remember, that was for the August. So I've got another pack for the September socks, for the Socks In You Know It Make Along. Right, are you with me? Are you keeping up? Is this chaos? It doesn't feel very organised, but this really feels like my life at the moment. Let's see, let me just put a few things away and then we'll see what's next to show you. Okay, what do we have here? This is a little Likac bag actually, but inside we have some acquisitions that I bought at Stafford Wool Festival. So at Stafford Wool Festival, I was opposite a lovely stand that was called Great British Wools, and they are a yarn shop, well, an online shop, which, as it would suggest from the name, they specialise in British wools. So they are suppliers, well, they are stockists of different suppliers, including Bar Ram U, and they had put together different colourway kits for different colour work projects, and they had put up, I think it was these 5, yeah, they put these 5 colours together, which I thought were beautiful, really lovely. And then I saw a hat with flowers that they had done in, but it needed green as well. And so the lovely lady the next day came back with some greens for me to choose from. And so I've put those 2 greens in with them. Now I am daft really, because I know I've already got some of that somewhere. And potentially some of these others may have been some that I bought earlier in the year as well. So I bought some Bar Ram U earlier in the year for making a colourwork vest. So, but anyway, look at those together. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? And I just couldn't resist buying them. And in theory, I've bought them for a hat, but I can't even remember what the hat was. I have favourited it in my, I hope I favourited it. I know I looked it up on Ravelry. Please tell me I favourited it. Let's quickly see if I favourited it. And then if I did, oh, I can at least... No. No, I didn't even favourite it. Oh, I'm just rubbish, aren't I? No, it was a tam with some flowers on. Oh well. Might be my viewing history. That is what I do love about Ravelry. Right, let's just go to the home page. And I feel that somewhere... okay. Let's go to patterns. I know somewhere there will be... Ah, yes, you've looked at... See more on your history page. There's so much you can do on Ravelry that people don't realise. Let's... Oh, there it is. Peary Fleurs by Kate Davis. I was fairly sure it was a Kate Davis design. So that's the actual design. Done in very bright colours. Let's favourite that right now. But the... save in favourites. Okay. But the colours they had knitted it in were the much more muted colours, like those ones I've just shown you. Just going to see if I can see, maybe in projects. There you can see the flowers really put nicely there. So anyway, there we go. Phew. Did you know that you could do that? That you can search back through what you had looked at on Ravelry on your history page. What have we got next? Aha! Now I am really hoping in here we have my September socks. So at Stafford Wool, oh yes I have, yeah. At Stafford Wool Gathering, I was actually next to this lady. Now I bought this bag from Nibbles, Needles and Hooks back in, I think August. And it's from So Can Sue. And she was actually next to me at Stafford Wool Gathering. And I said to her, I said, oh, I've got one of these little bucket bags. And she had some other beautiful bags in similar colours to this. And I did drop very unsubtle hints to my husband. So we have to hope. Now, the yarn that I was using for this is the yarn Quality Feet, which was the Christmas yarn by Andknit company, which is Lisa who runs that. She was also at Stafford Wool Gathering. So she specialises in self-striping yarn. Now again, I'm just going to put this onto sock blockers. I did not finish these in September. I knew that I wasn't going to. In fact, when I filmed this podcast in the week before Yarndale, I'm not even sure if they've been cast on. So I knew that they were not going to get finished, and sure enough they didn't. However, I think I finished them the end of the first week in October. This yarn has got yak in it. I don't think I've ever knitted it with yak for my feet before. But here we go. I don't think I've taken a picture of these yet either. They do need the ends sewing in, but that doesn't count. Ta-da! Anyway, look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? Really lovely. And again, you can see that I have to have them to match. These are my September socks, the socks in You Know It Make Along. Very pleased with them. They are very nice. And also, they actually match this bag really well. But I can sew in the ends and get those put away now. So at the end of the year, I will have my box of socks. And I should have 12 pairs of socks at the end of this year. Next year, I'm going to focus on knitting socks for my husband. So I might still do the same thing of wrapping them up each month and opening them each month, but they're all going to be sock yarns for socks for my husband. Right, what's next? Okay, so next we have some of the blanket squares. I'm actually quite pleased that I've got a few of these done. So these are all made from yarns from the Little Likac sock club Little Likac Mystery Club this year, and I've been keeping DK minis for myself each month. But since I last podcast, I have got these colours, which I think were July's colours, crocheted up into my blanket squares. So I've done all of July's, and I've done 2 of the 4 of August's. So I've done 6 squares. Because I believe, yeah, pretty sure you'd seen these ones. Had you seen those? I think so. These were the October Club, Halloween. These were from, I think, May. For some reason, I've kind of got a bit of out of sync. I think those are May. But I've got those in 4-ply because the DK, I had to replace somebody's DK ones, so I haven't got the DK, so I'm going to have to hold those doubled, which is again why I think I've been putting off doing those. And these, I believe, were September. So I'm nearly up to date. I've got, yeah, nearly up to date with, say that. But yeah. Anyway, we'll keep working on those. The pattern I'm using is from 200 Crochet Blocks for Blankets, Throws and Afghans by Jan Eaton. And this pattern is 189, which is the Willow pattern. Well, I need a bigger bag because I've got all the other colours in here. And then I think I'm going to crochet them together, possibly with just an undyed skein, a cream skein, I think. But I do need a bigger bag to put those in. Oh, I got a bag with gnomes on for my birthday. Right, put them in there. What I've just found. That's the other jumper that I'm going to do the use that Firefly Aran yarn with. I've also got a new cast on here. So a friend of mine at work I knitted a baby jacket in Aran weight for her grandson, probably about 3 years ago, and since then she's then had a little granddaughter, and so I did ask her, I kind of mentioned to her, did she want something for the granddaughter? She said yes please, and then actually we talked about me trying to knit something for both of them, and I went through my patterns. And this is an old pattern. Well, actually I bought it at a charity shop. There was a little bundle of patterns, so I picked this up. And so I'm knitting this. I'm just doing the granddaughter one at the moment, so that's size 6 to 12 months. And I had to buy some new yarn. No, I didn't have to buy new yarn for this one. I had some yarn in my stash that I thought would work. So let me show you. So I decided to use a turquoise and cream for the ribbing, and then this pink. Now this is all acrylic. This is Aldi acrylic, and I think this is something like Poundland or Home Bargains or something like that. But it is soft and it's absolutely fine for Mum to throw in the washing machine, which is what I needed. So here's the back of the cardigan. And I think it works really well, that pop of the bright blue and cream. And the two fronts are done. So it's just the sleeves to do. And this is knitting up pretty quickly. I told her that I would have them done for Christmas for her. So I have cast on both sleeves. So I've done the rib for both sleeves. And then I haven't got any particular buttons in mind yet, but I'm sure I will find some. But I didn't have anything else for the little boy. I didn't have any yarn that went with that blue and cream that I'd had enough of, because I needed 150 grams for the little boys, because I'm doing his in age 3 to 4. So, again, purchase somewhere. See if I can find it. I bought this grey from Aldi. So it's an Aldi DK yarn. Yeah. In this grey, which I hope you will agree will go nicely with that blue and cream still. So I bought 3 balls of that grey, 200 grams it said. Well, so I bought a third in case. You know, who knows? I probably won't need the third ball. That's how I end up with so much extra yarn. But it was Aldi, so it was very, very cheap. But again, I know a lot of people really like the Aldi yarn. It's fine. It's absolutely fine for a toddler and a baby, and for their mum to be able to throw that in the washing machine, not have to worry about it. And that was my priority. But talking of the Aldi yarn, I keep saying to you guys, I really want to knit something in mustard yellow. They did also have mustard yellow. And I bought 3 balls of that for me. And I bought 3 balls because that's all they had left. Otherwise I would have bought about 5, because I really wanted to knit. In fact, I bought more than that, because I want to knit an oversized, I wanted to knit like an oversized cardigan, or even a, if I'd had enough, just a small cardigan for to wear over dresses. Anyway, I thought that will be enough to do a vest top for myself, because I just keep talking about getting some mustard yarn, and they had it, so I bought it. So I think I updated the stash spreadsheet, but I haven't added in all that sock yarn that I've just recently got. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Couple more acquisitions. So Yarndale was amazing, and if you came and saw me either at Yarndale or Whitstable, thank you so not Whitstable, Stafford, thank you for coming and saying hello. I saw, or I met a few other podcasters. So I can't remember all their actual real names now, but Jan and Glitter, she came and said hello again, and I met her. I saw her at Yarndale and Stafford. I saw Sam Rayner. I can't remember the name of her podcast. I saw Robin from Wellbeing Knits. She's lovely. And I saw, can't remember her name, from Liverpool, from the Knitting Forecast, who I'd met at Blackpool and Liverpool before. So that was lovely to see all of them. I also saw Suzanne from Green Lambkin Yarn. But I'm not gonna lie, the big one for me was Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful, who not over came over and said hello, said that I was on her list to come and see, which, oh my god, I felt so flattered. But yeah, so she came and saw me, and she bought a couple of little things, and then I was fangirling. My husband was laughing after he'd gone. I was like, she's a really big podcaster. She has a lot of followers. And he went, you did seem a little bit like you were fan crushing. I went, yeah, I was. And when she came back the next day, because I was like, I must look out for her because I didn't take a picture. And when she came back the next day, I said, can we get a picture, please? And she said, oh, yes, I was going to ask you. She was going to ask me. So, yeah, I will try and put some photos at the end. And then I saw the lovely Heather, who always comes and says hello. Marjorie as well. Marjorie, we picked up some yarn for your shawl. I hope that's all going to look beautiful together. Who else did I say? Oh, and then I want to say her name's Ida. So sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Lovely, lovely lady who again I met, I think, at either Blackpool or Liverpool, and she had brought me a gift. And she had brought me a ball of yarn that she'd wrapped up for me, and I was like, oh, can I open it? And she bought me some opal sock yarn in purples and blacks and yellows. It's just fabulous. I can't even see, it doesn't even show me what it's going to knit up like actually, but I'm assuming it's going to be stripes. Oh yeah, here we go. There, see there. So yes, look at that. So thank you so much. And then I was opposite, or nearly opposite, the lovely Diane from U Tree Yarncraft, and I had seen previously on her Instagram this bag, and I had fallen in love with it and said to her, can you put this away for me and I will buy it from you at Yarndale. Actually, maybe this is what I should put that blanket in. Look at it, isn't it absolutely beautiful? It's Cinderella but with purple. Isn't it gorgeous? So yes, so she put that to one side for me. Absolutely beautiful, massive bag. I am tempted, I think I will put the blanket stuff in there actually. The only thing is it doesn't zip up or anything, but what I could do is if I put the stuff in bags still within that, I may well do that. Oh, we're nearly finished, guys, I think. Nearly finished. One last thing. Not done a lot of work on this. This is my car knitting. I leave this bag in my car all the time. So it occasionally gets worked on if I find myself somewhere where I wasn't expecting to have some time. And this is a pair of socks that are for my husband. Maybe they'll be finished by Christmas for him. I may decide to actually push on these in December to get them finished for Christmas. And they are using West Yorkshire Spinners Nutcracker colourway for the main colour. I started on these months ago, and then using Signet, the Truly Wool Rich Signet yarn for the heels, toes and cuffs. So these are knitted on 2.25mm needles, but 72 stitches for my husband. If I'm going to knit him a pair every year next year, I will change that to 2.5mm needles, probably 68 stitches, 2.5mm needles, and then they'll knit up a little bit quicker, hopefully. But yeah. And that, my lovely people, I think is everything. No, it's not. One more acquisition. One more acquisition, and it's a book. I'm sure many of you will have seen this. These liner books, 52 weeks books, are very, very popular. This is the only one that I've actually bought though, and it's the 52 weeks of scrap yarn. Look at it. So it is a mixture of crochet and knitting. You've got sweaters, cardigans, vests and slipovers, scarves, shawls and cowls, socks, hats and headbands, mittens and hand warmers, and bags and home decor. And this sweater, I love this, although to be fair, I don't think that picture does it as much justice as that one. Look at that. So I love that. Oh, what else have we got in here? Oh, I do like these socks. I like those. It's a big shawl here. Look at that. It's really nice. This is a knitted wrap. I think it would make a great like throw blanket. Don't think I'd actually wear it as a wrap, but there's a scarf somewhere I really like as well. Oh yeah, here we are. Block Party. That scarf, love that. So anyway, yes, there are a number of scrap projects in here that I definitely would consider. Some in here that I definitely wouldn't, but it's just a beautiful book, and it's the first one of the 52 ones that I've actually splashed out on for myself, because I felt that there was potentially, even if I don't knit the actual, make the actual projects as they are, I just think there's some lovely inspiration in this one. That's marled, so I'm guessing you're holding different yarns together there. Yeah, so you're holding 2 yarns together as well on that one, so that's a nice idea too. Right, I am going to go because this is now about an hour and a quarter, and just a big thank you. Yeah, as I say, life has been very, very busy, and life's not been easy either the last couple of months, so I thank everybody who has supported me in one way or another, and hopefully I will be back into a 2 weekly cycle. I am not vlogging for November again. When I was thinking about things to reduce the pressure on me, that was another thing that went off the list. So we're just going to focus on my 2 jobs and living my best life. Thanks so much for watching and for all the love and attention from you all, guys. See you soon. Bye.